So welcome to Walking the Path, an inner spiritual journey at the Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake. So let us join together in consciousness as we begin this evening's celebration. As I relax into this moment, I recognize the power and presence of the One. I see that there is only one, all-powerful, all-knowing, everywhere present equally. And as I accept that this is true, I accept that it's right here where I am, being me. And so I relax into this moment and I'm filled with a sense of joy and gratitude, peace, and a sense of connection and possibility as we move into this evening's service. What I know is that all that is necessary and needed is fully revealed here and now. And for this and so much more, I'm deeply grateful. Grateful for tonight's group, grateful for the information shared, the conversation had, the meditation, grateful for the message and all that it brings. I release these ideas into the law. I know it is done. All is well. And so it is. And now Kathy will give us our land acknowledgement.
Good evening, everyone. We work, live, and play on the historical and traditional territory of many Indigenous nations, including the Anishinaabe and Wendat peoples, and more recently, the Mississaugas of the Credit and Haudenosaunee nations. As we gather from many places on Turtle Island, we as settlers are grateful for the opportunity to meet here. And we thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years, including the Métis, Inuit, and all other Indigenous people. Also acknowledging that as we continue to grow and expand on these lands, there's still unresolved and dangerous inequality and discrimination toward our BIPOC and 2SL LGBTQ+ family. By making these acknowledgements, we strive to be allies and take an active part in reconciliation. We recognize our oneness, we realize our history, and we choose to create a new reality. We are one. And our vision at CSL on the Lake is transforming humanity through the emergence of the sacred, authentic self. And our mission is to welcome you as you are, where you are, without judgment or criticism, providing a sacred place of learning and growing as you seek to achieve your greatest dreams. We accomplish this by offering Science of Mind classes, social events, inspiring workshops, thought-provoking services, and practitioner support. We honor the revelation of your emerging sacred authentic self through our positive messaging and loving support. And now let us prepare for meditation with Rev Emmy.
Well, good evening, everyone. It is time for our meditation. So please center yourself and relax exactly where you are as we begin. Let yourself sit quietly and at ease. Allow your body to be relaxed and open. Your breath natural, your heart easy. Begin the practice of gratitude by feeling how year after year you have cared for your own life. Now let yourself begin to acknowledge all that has supported you in this care. With gratitude, I remember the people, animals, plants, insects, creatures of the sky and sea, air and water, fire and earth, all whose joyful exertion blesses my life every day. With gratitude, I remember the care and labor of 1,000 generations of elders and ancestors who come before me. I offer my gratitude for the blessing of this earth I have been given. I offer my gratitude for the measure of health I have been given. I offer my gratitude for the family and friends and my extended family I have been given. I offer my gratitude for the community, especially this community that I have been given. I offer my gratitude for the teachings and lessons I have been given. I offer my gratitude for the life I have been given. So just as we are grateful for our blessings, so we can be grateful for the blessings of others. I invite you now to shift your practice to the cultivation of joy. Continue to breathe gently. Bring to mind someone you care about. Someone it is easy to rejoice for. Picture them and feel the natural joy you have for their well-being, their happiness, and their success. With each breath, offer them your grateful, heartfelt wishes. May you be joyful. May your happiness increase. May you not be separated from great happiness. May your good fortune and the causes for your joy and happiness increase. Sense the sympathetic joy and caring in each phrase. When you feel some degree of natural gratitude for the happiness of this loved one, extend this practice to another person you care about. Recite the same simple phrases that express your heart's intention. Then gradually open the meditation to the other loved ones and benefactors in your life. After the joy for them grows strong, turn back to include yourself. Let the feelings of joy more fully fill your body and mind. Continue repeating the intentions of joy over and over through whatever resistances and difficulties arise. until you feel stabilized in joy. Next, begin to systematically include the categories of neutral people, then difficult people. And yes, I'm going to invite even enemies, until you extend sympathetic joy to all beings everywhere, young and old, near and far. Practice dwelling in joy until the deliberate effort of practice drops away and the intentions of joy blend into the natural joy of your own wise heart. Namaste.
You know, and that's the truth of us, is that already we are enough. So the talk tonight is Power of Joy. And what's interesting is joy is a natural aspect of our being. It's not something we have to gain or get or go find. It actually is an inherent part of us. And I first really saw that as truth when Genevieve was just, oh, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks old or something. And she was looking at the little toys hanging above her and the little mobile, and all of a sudden she broke into this huge smile. And I'm sure it wasn't gas. It felt like joy just as she caught picture, you know, the sight of these little toys. It was like this light lit up inside of her. And I think sometimes for us, we miss out on the joy of life because we're so busy trying to fit in, trying to get people to like us, trying to do things the right way. There's a lot of energy around I am not enough that actually destroys the possibility of me living in a place of true and lasting joy. So we want to begin to explore what it takes to live from that deep inner awareness and understanding of who I really am. And the thing to remember is that the attitude we bring to things changes it. When we walk into a room and we're feeling uncomfortable and nervous and a little unsure, we exude sort of a weakness that can cause us to experience the events of that day or that time maybe a little less than perfect. But in the moment when we wake up and we feel confident, we feel excited, and we're happy with every little thing that's going on, and we walk into a room, there's a power that sort of comes with us that allows us to experience things in a different way. And I was listening to a podcast the other day that was talking about how we can remember, how we can make new memories and how we can remember things in a different way, because often our memories are just what we see, right? We're just looking around. And of course, everybody sees things a little bit differently. But Jay Shetty talked about this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And, you know, when you're making a new memory, you can start by going, well, what are 5 things I can see around me? And what are 4 things that I can touch around me? And 3 things that I can smell. I got that right? I think I'm missing them somewhere here. And 2 things about, you know, what I can maybe, I think 1 was taste, 2 was smell, 3 was, I don't know what 3 was. But what he was suggesting is that if you really take in your environment, you can remember it in many different ways rather than sort of in an automatic response way like we do a lot of things. So when we're going through life, we have an opportunity to shift whatever's going on. So when we look at an event, it truly is a neutral thing, but we can look at it with excitement and delight, with joy and celebration, or we can look at it as something that's difficult and challenging and a problem. And so we want to notice where we go. And we really have been trained to fear. That's been drilled into us from the beginning. And so what we're doing is we're reacting from a place of fear sometimes when we don't need to. And so it's always a good idea to just check in and go, am I really at risk here? Or am I simply uncomfortable? And what if I were to go, it's okay, everything's okay, I'm okay, it's all good, then it begins to change what my experience will be. Because we always have choices about how we respond to any event. So the idea of joy and the power of joy is really, really remarkable, because number one, we already have it, so we don't have to go get it. But what we want to do is shift our thinking so that we can express it and experience it. And what it does is change the environment around us. If you walk into a room and you're kind of frowning and grumpy and, sort of, people probably aren't racing up to you to, say, hey, how you doing? Let's have a chat. But when you're smiling and you're open and living from your authentic self, I think sometimes we have decided that our work is of value if somebody else says it is. But what if we went to life and living and went, I'm going to live my life in a way that feeds me, that feels like me, that supports my greatest vision of possibility for me. And I'm going to live with an understanding of my wholeness. And not everybody's going to like me or be interested in what I think, what I say, what I do. And that's okay. In The Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes asked this question: does the thing I wish to do express more life, more happiness, and more peace to myself, and at the same time, harm no one? Does the thing I wish to do express more life, more happiness, more peace to myself, and at the same time, harm no one? It's a great question. You see, when we live from our authentic self, when we transcend the ego and relax into a place of just kind of knowing who we are and trusting that we are enough, okay? Because sometimes we've been convinced that we're not, and that's simply not true. Every single person is created perfect, whole, and complete, unique, and special. And so what I bring to life is going to be different than what somebody else brings. It doesn't make what I do better and what they do better. What it means is that I do me the best to my ability, and you will do you to the best of your ability. And how you do you and the ways in which you do what your life and the things that you love, that is going to give your life meaning. So we want to shift from our ego self that goes, I have to look in a certain way, I have to act in a certain way, I have to get more likes on Facebook and Instagram, and we don't have to do any of those things. What we really need to do to live a life of joy and fulfillment is to accept who we are and be that. I mean, trust me, everybody else is already taken. So be you, just be you. The idea for me of joy is about authentic expression of the self. And sometimes that's hard to get to because of the conditioning that we've gone through our lives. As little children, we were told no all the time, or maybe we did some things that we were told were bad and wrong or dirty or evil or whatever. And so as little children, we got all these mixed up messages that caused us to shrink a little bit sometimes. And if that's the case for you, I invite you to begin peeling back those layers, moving that energy out of the way so that you can be expressed. I watched the movie What's Love Got to Do with It about Tina Turner the other night. And when she was a little girl singing in the choir, and she's like moving and grooving and just having a great old time and harmonizing. And the choir director is like, stop it, don't do that. You need to not be like that. Be proper in the house of the Lord, kind of thing. And I thought, oh my goodness, that child just had it all. It was so brilliant and beautiful and was being suppressed. Now, obviously, she broke out of that and broke free, just a remarkable, remarkable human being. And the gifts that she brought when she found herself and found her own inner strength and beauty have been Absolutely remarkable. Each one of us has within us a natural ability, a natural something. And whatever that is, that's the only thing we need to do in life. That's the only thing we need to give into the world is ourselves. It's the only thing we have. And all of the, labels that we put on things and all of the initials we have before our names or following our names, none of that matters in the grand scheme of things. The only thing that matters is, do you live your life in a way that honors who you are? Do you live your life for you? And like Ernest Holmes asked, does the thing I wish to do express more life, more happiness, and more peace for myself? And at the same time, harm no one. When we are living from that authentic place, that's when joy comes up, and the power of it is immense. People who are living in joy, who are doing what they love to do just for the devotional act of giving into life, right? It is an act of devotion to give yourself into life authentically, honestly, in a real and beautiful way. That is a remarkable gift. And when we accept that life is a gift and we move with that energy, joy just naturally sort of pours out from it. And we're all fully able to live, but we want to move some of the stuff out of the way that might have been preventing us from walking into that depth of self-acceptance and love and honor and praise and goodness that actually has always been there. One of the things that, I sometimes hear either from my children or from friends or from whoever, or even from myself, is I can't do it. Have you ever said that? I can't do it. I heard someone say today, well, what if we change that and just said, I haven't done it yet? Maybe it's not that we can't do it. Maybe it's just that we haven't done it yet. And if we shift that, then we can begin to work on the areas of our life that we really want. And if for some reason you haven't allowed your light to really shine, what I thought was very funny in the movie, Tina Turner movie, was they were singing "This Little Light of Mine, I Gotta Let It Shine." And here she was letting her light shine. And the choir director is going, no, don't do that in the house of the Lord. I thought, well, that's an interesting dichotomy. But life is really what we choose to make it, and it can be whatever we want it to be. And that doesn't mean I have control over everything in the universe, but what it does mean is I have control over my experience of it, because I get to choose what I bring to the table. I get to choose what I'm going to believe about me as I step into a room, and I get to choose if I'm going to be joyful, if I'm going to allow joy to be the reigning creative light in this experience, or if I'm going to hold back. I get to choose what I think about, I bring about. So I invite you to think about what you bring each day, each month, each year into the journey that you're walking. And have you allowed the power of joy to fuel what you do? Maybe it's time to dance more, play more, laugh more, be silly more. Imagine for a moment you're in your car and you're singing your favorite song at the top of your lungs and nobody else can hear you. I always love that feeling. I can be off key, which I probably am, but I feel joy. Joy is right where you are. And you can have it now, even in the midst of grief and sorrow and all sorts of things. Joy still exists, and we can turn to it. All right. So we're going to go into breakout rooms, and there's a couple of questions that you can answer. But prior to that, let's just share the intentions, because it's important that as we go into the breakout rooms that we honor certain things. So I believe Deja's going to put that up on the slide. There it is. All right. I am creating a divine space of understanding, love, and compassion for each person to share their beliefs and perspectives in this experience. I am speaking and acting for myself personally and not for others, and will share my truth honestly and respectfully. I am trusting that this is a safe place to step outside my comfort zone, or rather, my familiar place. I am keeping my opinions and advice to myself and will not crosstalk nor give advice or suggestions. I am keeping confidential what is shared here. I am ensuring each participant has equal time to share. I am lightening up and I am joy. And the questions in the breakout rooms are, what are you searching for? What brings you joy? And are you feeling fulfilled in your life? Food for thought, food for thought. All right, let me create the breakout rooms.